Okay, so you're going to get an OSD FPV kit like this here in the mail or from FedEx, and you're going to have a couple of things inside. So you're going to have some cables, and I noticed that they're sending the new FPV kits, or whatever they used to call them, with the splitter. So I ordered the OSD, so here's the OSD. Take that out. Okay, so that's what we need. We need the OSD cable and we need the OSD itself. And then I'll go ahead and rip apart the new Iris Plus so we can figure out how to do the OSD. Alright, there's one brand new Iris Plus right out of the box. Alright, so I took out the 3 screws so I can open up the top shell. Now we're going to remove this right here, the one cable that goes all the way up and into telemetry 1. Okay, so that's going to be taken out. Now both of these are going to have 6-pin connectors on them, so we'll do that. Alright, so as you can see, there's no cable in your telemetry radio, and also there's no cable in Telem 1. So that's been ripped out right here. So as you can see, 6 pins here and 6 pins on the other side. Okay, so you've got this connector out. That came from your telemetry radio and into Telem 1. So you're going to take your cutters, just take your cutters and snip it. So snip. Okay, now, boom. Now you have a whole bunch of wires on one end, 6-pin connector on the other end. Now the next thing you're going to do, you're going to find your 5-pin, which is on your Y cable, because this end already has the 6-pin. So now you're going to take this guy here, which is your 5-pin, right? Okay. And all you're going to do is you're going to go up a little bit and you're going to cut it. Snip. Done. Now make sure you're holding your wires, because you want to know which way they came. So they all have to be, you know what I mean? Hold them like that. That way you know which way they came out. So this was left and going right. Okay, so you got 4 wires right there. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, you got 4 wires. So you make sure that you're keeping them all separated and they're, you know, in the same order that you took them off. Because it's kind of important that you remember that, because we need to hook them up again. And all we're going to do is we're going to hook them up to this connector that we had here. Now just bear with me here. Okay, so I took the Iris out of the way. The Iris Plus is out of the way. I have my cables laying down on the table, and I have my other piece here that I have not yet peeled back. So, pretty easy to do because there's only one red wire on here, right? You got one red wire and the rest are black. So, obviously, it's going to go this way. So, peel back all your wires. Right? Just peel them back enough so that you can actually solder it. I'll just do this here. Give me a sec. Okay, so we're going to peel back every single wire we got here. Alright. It's kind of a pain because they're really tiny wires, but not so bad. Could be worse, I guess. You just have to make sure that you keep all your wires organized because you don't want to screw anything up here, or nothing's going to work for you. So I'll let you guys watch me fight this stupid last cable, because obviously it's going to be ignorant to me. It's usually the way it works when you're trying to show somebody something. I can't get it. Got to call my wife in here. She's got little tiny fingers. Okay, there we go. Alright, so anyway, these are all split now. Alright, so now that's what you should look like right there. So you're going to connect them up, right? So let's find our red. There's our red. That's just going to go to that one. Okay, now when you plug it in, once you've got all your wires soldered on, you'll have a red wire that is connected. You'll have a black wire that is connected, another black wire that is connected, two that you just cut off. They don't need to be in there. And then the far, I guess it would be left-hand side, if you're facing the back of the iris, is still left in. So you only have 4 cables coming out of your pick sock onto LEM1. Okay? Okay, so I've got my cable sitting here. My other cable's sitting right there. So now I have a red and a black and a black. The 2 wires that get cut off, and then the one that gets hooked up. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these so I don't mistake them for wires that need to be connected. Just be careful because they're pretty tiny and you don't want to nick any of the other wires. There. Okay, so those wires are gone. So now hook these up accordingly. Okay, so you're going to go just like this. So red, black, black, black. Because this connector is going to go in, and as long as your wires are hooked up, you're going to have telemetry on everything. So you're going to have telemetry on your tablet, you're going to have telemetry on your transmitter, and you're going to have OSD in your FPV monitor. If you leave all 3 of these, if you want to have all 3 of those hooked up, which I do. So this is why I'm doing it. And I know a lot of other people want to have that as well, but 3DR doesn't have it figured out for some reason. I'm not sure why, but whatever. Okay, so I'm not going to solder these up right now because it's going to take too much time. So you guys go ahead, solder these things up. Make sure you put shielding over top of them, heat shrink them, whatever you got to do. Get them in there nicely, and you're definitely going to have exactly what you need, right? Because you've got everything is lined up, everything is there. This end here is going to go into your telemetry radio. This end, the one that you spliced up, is going to go into your pick sock. Now this here has 2 different ends, or well, different views, I guess. That's the bottom view. Top view shouldn't have any of those connectors on it. So when you plug it in, it's going to look just like this. Okay, you're going to take that out of the box. Now when you plug her in, there's only one way to plug it in. There's 6 connectors there, so you're going to plug it in like that. This goes right to your telemetry radio. That goes to your pick sock. Flick everything on after you're done hooking everything up, and you should have everything you need. And that's it. Okay, so the last part of the video, I'm just going to show you how I have it rigged up in my Iris Plus. I have my OSD sitting at the very front, basically right next to my 3DR radio. The piece that I chopped up is plugged into LEM1. The other 6-pin connector is plugged into the 3DR radio, and then the OSD gets plugged into your OSD, and that's it. Turn it back on after you have everything buttoned back up, or you can test it before you do it, before you put the shell back on, but it'll work. If you do the wiring, exactly like I said to do it, you'll have no problems whatsoever, because mine just came right out of my old Iris and plugged right into the Iris Plus, and it worked right off the hop. So if you do it exactly like I show you, you'll have no problems. All right, good luck.